We live in interesting times.
For the headlines.
The Makati Regional Trial Court issued a warrant of arrest against Senator Antonio Trillanes and barred him from leaving the country.
President Trump said he will meet for a second time with Kim Jong-un in the not-too-distant future.
A deployment ban is currently in effect for OFWs in the Federated States of Micronesia. Now, last weekend, Filipinos in the island of Pohnpei gathered themselves to show their solidarity, insisting the said report to be false. EBC Micronesia correspondent Melody Iran will give us the details.
Our EBC correspondent in Japan, Tyra Lu, talks to the president of the University of the People and why their education online platform is different from others.
I'm Alma Angeles, wherever you're watching from around the world. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
We welcome our viewers here in the Philippines and around the world. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sam Cepeda.
And now to the news. The Makati Regional Trial Court issued a warrant of arrest against Senator Antonio Trillanes and barred him from leaving the country. In a 22-page order, Makati RTC Branch 150 Judge Elmo Alameda granted the motion filed by the Department of Justice in connection with the rebellion case against Trillanes and other Magdalo soldiers over the Manila Peninsula siege. Trillanes has been holed up in the Senate since September 4, when Duterte's proclamation that invalidated his amnesty was published in the newspapers. Now, Trillanes, in a media briefing at the Senate, said he would post the 200,000 bail set by the court for his temporary liberty. He also said he is ready to be arrested.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ito po ang laban natin. Hindi po tayo mapipinas. Ito po ay mga balakid sa ating pagtataguyod ng katotohanan at justisya at ating demokrasya. So, yung mga kababayan natin na nakakasaksi nito, maliwanag sa kanila na ito ay panghihigpit ni Mr. Duterte. Sitwasyon ko ay isang pagsubok sa ating demokrasya at it's unfortunate na natalo at manaig ng kadiliman at kasamaan.
Now, Trillanes posted a bail bond of 200,000 pesos. Then, Elmo Alameda issued a one-page order directing the senator's release. Judge Alameda said the initial presentation of prosecution evidence on November 21st. Senator Paulo Benigno, or Bamakino, said that Trillanes would return to the Senate, where the latter has been staying since the publication of Proclamation 572. Trillanes was presiding over a committee hearing at the Senate when the news broke of the Makati Regional Trial Branch 150's resolution that granted the Department of Justice's motion for a warrant and hold departure order against him. In the arrest, the trial court noted that Trillanes failed to present the original hard copy, a duplicate copy, or even a photocopy to substantiate his claim that he personally accomplished and filed his official amnesty application form. The court also gave way to the online news report published on January 5, 2011, which was presented by the prosecution to prove that Trillanes failed to expressly admit his guilt for the crimes committed during the Oakwood Mutiny and Manila Peninsula incident. The trial court said with Trillanes' amnesty being declared void or ab initio, it has regained jurisdiction to hear and resolve the case, despite its dismissal last September 7, 2011. Now, Senator Trillanes, however, maintained that he applied for amnesty and admitted his guilt, and that his impending arrest is part of the president's crackdown against critics. Now, Trillanes was involved in the Oakwood Mutiny in July 2003, to recall, the Marine standoff in February 2006, and the Manila Peninsula incident in 2007, which were all against then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Trillanes and fellow Magdalo soldiers walked free as former President Noynoy Aquino granted them amnesty in 2011. Judge Elmo Alameda in 2011 dismissed the rebellion charges against Trillanes on the basis of the amnesty granted to the soldier-turned-lawmaker.
President Duterte said any ouster move against him will not succeed without the support of the armed forces of the Philippines. Duterte, however, clarified that he is not clinging to his position, saying the military and the police can personally tell him if they are no longer contented with his works as leader of the country.
Alam mo, itong plat na ito, ganito lang masasabi ko. Nothing will succeed without the help of the armed forces particularly. If the military, the armed forces, and the police think na hindi ako bagay na maging presidente, sabihan nila ako, walang away-away. Kasi yung mga sundalo ko, kasama Manila. Kung sabihin nila na dapat palitan ako, largaan. Kaya ng military pati police, lalabas na yung patay nila dyan sa bunganga nila. Basta ako nagtatrabaho according to my promise. Corruption, drug, na hindi ako kinabang dyan sa walang transaction sa gobyerno umaabot sa akin, baski sa gobyerno. Walang MRT, LRT o purchase ng barko o aeroplano na abot sa akin. Nandyan lang yan sa kanila. It starts and ends sa tinutupad ko talaga yan. Mabunga nga ako, bastos lang. Kasi galit ako sa kanila. Gara ba sa Visaya? Anong gara? Anong gara sa... Nang ano tuloy, lalo nang sitahin mo mas lalong bastos ka. Lalong magbinastos ako. Pero sa kanila man rin lang. Mga pangit ano kasi. Yung maganda na kayo.
Recently, the AFP confirmed a conspiracy by the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, CPP-NPA, and other opposition groups to oust Duterte through a so-called Red October plot. AFP Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations Brigadier General Antonio Parlade said the destabilization threat is being orchestrated by CPP founding chairman Jose Maria Sison.
Now, last Monday, to recall, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque backed the AFP's claim, but said the CPP-NPA and some critics from the opposition will not succeed in overthrowing Duterte. Roque said a survey showing 8 out of 10 Filipinos are supporting the president's war on drugs, and it is one of the major proofs that the plotters will have difficulty in ousting the president. Meanwhile, the presidential spokesperson Harry Roque also said that he agreed with Vice President Leni Robredo's claim that she's not part of any conspiracy to overthrow the Duterte government.
Well, siguro po, as far as VP Leni is concerned, that's a fair statement, because as far as I know, she was not amongst those specifically named to be part of the conspiracy. She is, after all, the second highest elected official. She took an oath to support the Constitution, and she should not, and is expected not to support any unconstitutional means to remove the president. No? So, pero ang ating AFP naman po, hindi ko po sila narinig na pinangalanan si VP Leni. So, there is nothing unfair as far as VP Leni is concerned, because she was not specifically named, pero hindi nyo naman po matatanggal na yung intelligence funds na ginagamit natin nga para sa ganitong paraan ay nagsasabi na meron talagang ilan sa mga Liberal Party na nagpaplano na makipagsabwatan para mapatalsik si Presidente Duterte. Now, ang isyong nga po kahapon is gawin na nilang lahat, hindi sila magiging tagumpay dahil suportado ng taong bayan. si President Duterte. We stand by the intelligence information as gathered by the Armed Forces of the Philippines. These are documents seized from members of the CPP-NPA. It clearly provides for creating a broad coalition with Liberal Party members and the Magdalo. But again, I stress, gawin nyo ng lahat, walang mangyayari dyan, napakalakas po ng suporta ng taong bayan kay Presidente.
The Philippine government is working with Nigeria and Switzerland to get additional information on the condition of the 7 Filipino seafarers abducted off the coast of Nigeria. 7 Filipinos were among the 12 crew members of Swiss-owned MV Glarus who were kidnapped by armed men last Saturday. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, or NIMASA, said it had commenced search and rescue operations for the abducted crew from the MV Glarus. The ship was attacked 45 nautical miles southwest of Bonny Island near the southern city of Port Harcourt as it traveled from Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos, on Saturday. NIMASA Director General Dakuko Peterside said the agency was working to ensure that they are found and released unconditionally. Meanwhile, Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano has ordered the DFA Office of Migrant Workers Affairs to assist the families of the 7 abducted Filipino seafarers. This would not be the first time that Filipino seafarers were kidnapped in Nigerian waters.
President Trump's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh launched an aggressive campaign against allegations of sexual misconduct, vowing on national television to clear his name while appearing to claim his virginity at the time of the accusations as a defense. Now, the claims, dating back to the conservative judge's high school and college days, threatened to derail what was seen as an all but certain confirmation to the lifelong post on the top court. With his future and reputation on the line, Kavanaugh stepped up his defense, saying, quote, "I've never sexually assaulted anyone, not in high school, not ever. I've always treated women with dignity and respect." He also sought to present an image of himself as a straight-laced student devoted to his studies and sports, and declared he was a virgin for much of his youth, apparently as a strategy of defense. "I did not have sexual intercourse or anything close to sexual intercourse in high school or for many years thereafter," he told Fox News, appearing alongside his wife Ashley ahead of his own Senate testimony due after Ford's. "I'm not going to let false accusations drive us out of this process," he added, repeatedly calling for a fair process. Now, President Trump later threw his weight behind his candidate.
This is a fine man, and we certainly hope he's going to be confirmed, and quickly. His family has suffered. His family has suffered. What's going on is not something that should happen. Brett Kavanaugh is an absolute outstanding person. Hopefully, he will be confirmed quickly.
President Trump said he will meet for a second time with Kim Jong-un in the not-too-distant future after the North Korean leader showed signs of wanting to reach a deal that would end his nuclear program.
We've developed a great relationship on many different fronts. This one is on trade, but we're working very well on North Korea. A lot of very positive things are happening with Chairman Kim. We have an agreement to work out another summit, and we look forward to doing that. I'm going to be meeting with Chairman Kim in the not-too-distant future. The location is being worked on, the time is being worked on, and we'll be announcing it.
Stalled talks have shown new signs of life after Moon and Kim met last week in Pyongyang. At the summit, Kim said he would dismantle a major missile engine site and possibly his Yongbyon nuclear facility if the U.S. took unspecified corresponding measures Many key details were left unclear, including whether inspectors would be allowed to verify the process. Both Trump and Kim have recently said they'd like to meet again to further discuss a deal for Pyongyang to give up its nuclear weapons.
Meanwhile, Germany's Catholic Church was Tuesday due to confess to and apologize for thousands of cases of sexual abuse against children, part of a global scandal heaping pressure on the Vatican. It will release the latest in a series of reports on sexual crimes and cover-ups spanning decades that has shaken the largest church from Europe to the United States, South America, and Australia. In Germany alone, almost 3,700 minors were abused between 1946 and 2014, according to the report prepared by the German Bishops' Conference, details of which were leaked to the media earlier this month. Justice Minister Katarina Barley said the study was shocking and probably just the tip of the iceberg. She urged the church to, quote, take responsibility for decades of concealment, cover-ups, and denials. Barley also called on the Roman Catholic Church to work with state prosecutors to bring every known case to justice and to take steps to prevent more abuse, speaking to News Weekly Der Spiegel.
Zusammenschluss von Betroffenen. Es ist ein weltweites Problem, was die katholische Kirche hat. Ja? Und ich wünsche mir von dem Papst natürlich, dass er das auf Rang Nummer 1 stellt und seine Kirche das gut aufarbeitet, beziehungsweise da muss sich... Wissen Sie, eigentlich müsste die katholische Kirche verboten werden. Es ist eine Täterorganisation. Ja? Also ich bin da jetzt nicht erschrocken über die Zahlen, aber schön, schön ist das falsche Wort, aber gut, dass mal Zahlen an die Öffentlichkeit kommen, was für ein Ausmaß es haben könnte und wie viele Priester betroffen sind, beziehungsweise Täter sind. Ja, die Studie spricht ja von 4 oder 5% der Kleriker in Deutschland waren Täter. Dass wir fragen, was die Kirche endlich vorhat an Aufarbeitung, ja, was sie den Betroffenen anbieten möchte an Hilfeleistungen, ja, wie sie auch den Eltern, die ihre Kinder der Kirche anvertrauen, Kirche kann ja ein sehr vertrauensvoller Ort sein, was sie diesen Eltern mal sagen, wie sie ihre Kinder schützen möchten, ja, so, unglaublich. Aber eine Täterorganisation, das wissen wir durch Täterstrategien, ist sehr gut vernetzt in Verblendung der Gesellschaft. In Deutschland ist die katholische Kirche sehr mächtig, ja, die Christlich-Soziale Union in Bayern, die CDU in der Regierung, da sind Kirchenvertreter drin. So. Und deswegen hat sie eine sehr große Machtstellung. Und da wünsche ich mir, eigentlich müssten die alle raus.
The European Union said it would set up a legal entity to preserve oil and other businesses with Iran in a bid to evade U.S. sanctions after President Donald Trump withdrew from a nuclear agreement. The European Union and Iran, along with Russia and China, said they were determined to protect the freedom of their economic operators to pursue legitimate business with Iran in a statement issued after high-level talks at the United Nations.
Mindful of the urgency and the need for tangible results, the participants welcomed practical proposals to maintain and develop payment channels, notably the initiative to establish a special purpose vehicle to facilitate payments related to Iran's exports, including oil and imports. Participants underlined their determination to protect the freedom of their economic operators to pursue legitimate business with Iran in full accordance with the UN Security Council Resolution 2231. The GCPOA participants reconfirmed their commitment to its full and effective implementation in good faith and in a constructive atmosphere.
In line with findings of UN inspectors, Mogherini reiterated that Iran has been in compliance with the nuclear agreement under which Tehran drastically scaled back its nuclear program in exchange for relief from sanctions. The agreement was sealed in 2015 in a signature achievement for then U.S. President Barack Obama. Trump pulled out of the agreement in May, describing it as a disaster and quickly moving to reimpose sanctions on Iran.
Thank you very much. This will make America much easier.
We'll be back with more news right after this break.
Stay with us. Welcome back. A deployment ban is currently in effect for OFWs in the Federated States of Micronesia. This bars Filipinos from traveling to the Western Pacific nation, even if they are on vacation in the Philippines but are still under contract to work in the said country. Now, this ban is the result of a 2017 report received by the POEA alleging that Filipino health workers in a state-run hospital have been overworked and underpaid. Now, last weekend, Filipinos in the island of Pohnpei gathered themselves to show their solidarity, insisting the said report to be false. ABC Micronesia correspondent Melody Eran has more.
An estimated 500 Filipinos participated in the assembly at Pohnpei Sports Center. The event was organized by the United Filipino Community of Pohnpei. Long-time resident Tony Reyes assures that Filipinos here are law-abiding citizens that get along and work together with others in this island community.
Simple lang po ang buhay namin dito. Nakikita ko po, mga tao rito ay mababait sa mga Pilipino. Unang-una, ang kanilang respeto ay mataas sa mga Pilipino at hindi kami inaaway at wala kaming inaaway sa kanila. Kaya sila po ay aming parang mga pamilya na rin. At ang pamilya ko po ay taga rito. At ako po ay matagal na rin dito. At ang mga Pilipino dito ay nagkakaisa. At sila po ay nakikisa. Binibigyan po kami ng mga aktibidad dito ng mga taga rito at libreng-libre kami sa lahat ng bagay na aming gugustuhin. At wala pong restriction sa amin, lalo-lalo na sa mga aming papeles. Ang mga gobyerno po rito ay tinutulungan kami ng mga bagay na dapat para sa kanilang batas. At iyon po ay nakaayos ng maayos hanggang ngayon po.
Other participants have personal requests to the Philippine government, including a specific message for President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Sa ngayon, dalawa po ang gusto po naming maiparating sa mahal nating Pangulong Duterte. Unang-una po sana ang pag-lift ng ban para sa mga returning OFWs na kasalukuyang nasa Pilipinas dahil sila po ay may mga trabahong kailangan balikan at may mga pamilya rin pong nag-aantay dito. Sana po mapabalik sila sa lalong madaling panahon. Pangalawa po, mahal na Pangulo, sana po ay magkaroon ng re-investigation sa patungkol dito po sa ban na ipinatupad po ng POEA. Dahil para po sa amin, wala pong katotohanan yung ipinaparatang po na kami ay inaabuso at minamaltrato. Sa totoo po, mahal po kami ng mga tao rito sa Micronesia, dito po sa FSM, nire-respeto po kami nila rito. Kaya hinihiling po namin sana po ay magkaroon ng mabilisang investigasyon upang makabalik po kami, makapagtrabaho po kami ng maayos para mabuhay po rin namin ng maayos ang mga pamilya at mabigyan din po ng justisya ang mga Micronesian employers namin sa ibinintang na pang-aabuso nila at pagmamaltrato. Maraming salamat po.
The Filipino community has made their voices heard and now awaits further action towards resolution. Reporting from Pohnpei, Micronesia, I'm Melody Iran for Eagle News. I'm 1 with 25.
China said on Tuesday it was impossible to hold trade talks with the United States while Washington is imposing tariffs that are like holding a knife to someone's throat. Speaking a day after Washington activated tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese goods, Vice Commerce Minister Wang Zhuwen said China is open to negotiations, but that the two sides must treat each other equally and with respect.
采取了这么大的贸易限制措施，就是说把刀架在别人的脖子上，那这个谈判怎么进行呢？它不是一个平等的谈判和磋商，美方出尔反尔，抛弃这次共识，采取了贸易的一些限制措施，这使得谈判没法进行下去。
U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin had invited Chinese officials to hold new talks, but President Donald Trump's latest salvo and warnings that another $267 billion of goods are being lined up appear to have scuttled that effort. Fu Ziying, another Vice Minister of Commerce, noted that some in the United States accuse Beijing of engaging in unfair or competitive practices, causing the huge trade deficit between the two countries. This is totally devoid of fact, groundless, and totally misleading, he said, adding that American firms sold $700 billion worth of goods in China each year, earning more than $500 billion in profit.
President Trump and South Korean President Moon Jae-in signed a revised trade agreement between the two countries Monday afternoon, U.S. time in New York, following their bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Take a look.
It's a very big deal. This is a great day for the United States and a great day for South Korea. This agreement will reduce bureaucracy and increase prosperity in both of our countries. Workers in South Korea and America will find new customers and new opportunities to expand and grow.
Now, the new deal contains amendments to the 2012 U.S.-South Korea Free Trade Deal known as KORUS, which Washington and Seoul agreed to revise in March. President Trump had previously blamed KORUS, signed during the Obama administration, for increasing U.S. trade deficits with South Korea. The amendments include provisions to ease customs barriers for U.S. agricultural goods and pharmaceutical exports. It will increase the number of cars the U.S. can export to South Korea from 25,000 to 50,000 without being subject to the country's more stringent safety regulations. Seoul also accepted a quota on its steel exports to the U.S. to avoid the tariffs Trump has imposed on other countries. The new deal, however, doesn't include a currency agreement, as the members of the Trump administration had previously indicated.
Instagram co-founders Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger have announced they are leaving the photo-sharing app, but are bought by Facebook 6 years ago, setting a new test for the parent company as it works to quell mounting turmoil. Mike and I are grateful for the last 8 years at Instagram and 6 years with the Facebook team, Systrom said in a statement late Monday following a report on the departure in the New York Times. We're planning on taking some time off to explore our curiosity and creativity again. Systrom, 34, created the app in 2010, and with 32-year-old Krieger, now the outgoing chief technical officer, when they were students at Stanford University in the heart of Silicon Valley. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg praised the departing Instagram leaders for their combined creative talents, saying, "I've learned a lot working with them." Systrom's fortune is valued at $1.4 billion by Forbes. Instagram in June announced it passed 1 billion active users and unveiled a new long-form video feature in a bid to attract creators like those on YouTube. Facebook acquired Instagram in April 2012 for a combination of cash and stock worth some $1 billion at the time.
Going now to Japan, the University of the People, based out of Pasadena, California, bills itself as a tuition-free online university and is making headway in the online education space. Currently, the platform serves 180 countries. It offers accredited degrees and works to differentiate itself from the masses. University of the People's most remarkable trait is that only 20 to 30 students are enrolled in each course. Now, this small class size fosters student interaction. It also provides a network of personal support, both of which are important and rare in broad-based online curriculum. Now, Tyra Liu gets to talk to the president and founder of the University of the People president. Tyra?
Hello, everyone. Today, we are so privileged to have with us Mr. Shai Reshef. Right. Is that correct? Yes. So he is the president of the University of the People. It is a non-profit university, but it's accredited in America. Is that right?
Yes. University of the People is a non-profit, tuition-free, accredited online American university.
We want to know what is the general idea of this.
So the idea is to offer a quality American education to anyone who wants to get it, especially those who cannot afford it otherwise. So the idea is that anyone who wants quality education and cannot afford it either because of time or because of money will have an opportunity. By the way, we have a great success in the Philippines. The students that we have from the Philippines are great students. We are very happy. And you know, in many countries, English is a challenge. In the Philippines, it's not a challenge. They are great students. We are very happy to have them. And we believe, you know, as you said, we are very different because of the quality of our program, being American degree. We have a great demand there. So we think that Philippines is a great country in general, but in particular for us.
Wow, so how do you see what is the advantage of the University of the People with Filipinos in it?
Very convenient because you can study from any time, anywhere.
What is the main objective, your vision, mission? How was this university set up in the first place?
There are 100 million people in the world, according to UNESCO, that graduate high school and do not have seats in the existing universities. So many people cannot afford higher education, either because it's too expensive or because they live in places where there are not enough universities. In Africa, most countries, there aren't enough universities. We believe that there wasn't a better reason for the invention of the internet but bringing the education to everyone. That's what we do. We're using the internet to make quality higher education affordable and accessible to everyone.
So what do the students expect after they graduate from the university?
When they graduate, I think that they are much more prepared than other students because we teach them to be open to other cultures, to know other cultures, to work in teams of people from different parts of the world. They are, our students have self-discipline, they have high motivation, otherwise they won't succeed. So they are very well prepared for the 21st century. So if you are a Filipino that is interested in quality higher education, willing to work hard and get great education, tuition-free, you're welcome to apply. Go to www.uopeople.edu. Again, uopeople.edu. Apply, and we welcome you to be our student.
I would say this is the future solution for the education, to reach every people, regardless of the status, to get the right education.
It might be really interesting. It would be helpful for me, and I started doing it. Found it really interesting, but like it's just first term, so I'm feeling difficult. If I wanted to improve myself, to just open up the world for me.
Reporting from Tokyo, Japan, this is Tyra Pilulu for Eagle News International, and I am 1 with 25.
Thank you, Tyra. Eagle News International will be right back.
Stay tuned.
MTRCB ang mag-provide na appropriate ratings sa lahat ng TV shows. Para ugaliin ng pamilya ang responsableng panonood. Teamwork tayo, parents!
Rated G, good for all. Oops, rated PG. Dapat may mga magulang para sagutin ang mga tanong ng kabataan.
Grabe, rated SPG, maselan!
Higpitan ang paggabay.
Pag rated MTRCB, rated responsable.
Scuba divers painstakingly removed thousands of tires from beneath the turquoise waters of the Gulf of Huan. Immersed for decades, they were supposed to serve as artificial reefs in the protected area, but have had to be raised due to environmental concerns.
At least 34 people have died in northern Ghana during flooding caused by heavy rains and waters spilling from a dam in neighboring Burkina Faso. Take a look.
Some of us have lost our farms to floods. And not only that, we have lost quite a number of animals and human lives. When the Bagre Dam overflows its bounds, or when they open up the dam to overflow into the rivers that connect it, we are the people who suffer most.
Now, Bagre Dam is located on the White Volta River that begins in Burkina Faso and which converges with the Black Volta downstream and feeds into Lake Volta in southern Ghana. The authorities opened the dam spillways during annual rains, but the excess volumes of water regularly flood communities along the rivers. People living along the White Volta have been urged to stay away from its banks. Others have been told to move to higher ground. Aid agency Oxfam's inequality programs and campaign manager in Ghana, Zakaria Suleimana, said the situation required high-powered political attention. In 1999, flooding in the Upper West, Upper East, Northern and Brong Ahafo and Volta regions of northern Ghana affected more than 300,000 people, according to NADMO. Now, Ghana's vice president recently visited the flooded areas there.
Residents from a Mexican village tried to clean damaged streets and houses after at least 5 people died and 9 are missing following heavy rain and a river flooding. Watch this. More news will be coming your way.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
NBA, LeBron James warned Los Angeles Lakers fans not to expect an immediate challenge to the dominance of the Golden State Warriors as the NBA superstar addressed the media for the first time here on Monday. The 33-year-old four-time NBA MVP joined the Lakers in July on a four-year, $154 million deal, which was sealed just weeks after his Cleveland Cavaliers were beaten by the Warriors for the third time in 4 years. James arrived in Los Angeles with the Lakers desperately trying to regain their former glory after several years of steady decline, which has seen them fail to reach the playoffs for 5 straight seasons.
I'm always in a learning process. No matter where I'm at in my career, I'm always in a point where I want to learn and get things from teammates and coaches and things of that nature. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we all can bring to the table and how we can all bounce ideas and bounce things off one another in order to better our games.
James, however, sought to put a lid on the expectation on Monday, warning that any challenge to their Western Conference rival Warriors was a long way off.
We can't worry about what Golden State is doing. Golden State is Golden State, and they're the champions, and they've been together for a few years now. So, we put that to the side. We can only focus on what we can do to get better every day as a Lakers franchise, and hopefully someday we can put ourselves in a position where we can compete for a championship, as Golden State has done for the last few years.
Meanwhile, head coach Luke Walton welcomes James' involvement in the team's development and what's best for him as well.
As the season's playing out, the two of us will sit down with the training staff and constantly be in communication about what's best for him, what's best for the team, because we definitely want to keep him fresh.
In football, Luka Modric ended Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi's decade-long domination of the football's individual awards by being crowned FIFA's Best Player of the Year on Monday. The Real Madrid and Croatia midfielder started for both club and country as Madrid won a third straight Champions League, and he inspired Croatia to reach the World Cup final for the first time. He beat Ronaldo and Liverpool's Egyptian forward Mohamed Salah to the prize. And in golf, Europe captain Thomas Bjorn said his team don't fear anyone as they prepare to take on a powerful United States lineup packed with 9 major champions, including a resurgent Tiger Woods at this week's Ryder Cup. France's Le Golf National, just south of Paris, is only the second European venue outside of Britain and Ireland to stage the Ballina Showdown, in which the United States will be targeting a first win on foreign soil since 1993. The Americans are bidding to retain the trophy after a 17-11 rout at Hazeltine 2 years ago and bring over a squad that has combined for 31 major titles compared to just 8 for Europe.
These are 24 of the best players in the world, and when they go up against each other, they're all capable of amazing things on both sides. We don't fear anyone because we played against them so many times before individually, but we respect our opponents and know what we're up against, and that's, I think, is the key to all of this. We'll go out and do what we can and play our game.
The star attraction in France will be undoubtedly B. Woods, who is making his first Ryder Cup appearance since 2012, following a long road back from injury that threatened to end his career. Woods won the Tour Championship on Sunday at East Lake for his 80th career USPGA Tour title, too shy of Sam Snead's all-time record and his first victory in 1,876 days. And these are the stories for EN Sports. I'm Ben Bernaldez, and I'm 1 with 25.
Bamboo Whispers, a book of Mangyan poetry, was recently launched in Washington, D.C. It echoes the stories of Mangyan life, love, and legacy. Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot reports.
Rendered in 2 scripts and in 4 languages in the original Hanunuo Mangyan and translated into Filipino, Spanish, and English by poets, the Ambahan collection in Bamboo Whispers captures the world of the Mangyan tribes of Mindoro. Today, the U.S.-Philippine Society, the Philippine Embassy, and the Mangyan Heritage Center will give us a taste of the Ambahan art form discovered with no authorship, making it the Mangyan's gift to humanity. If there are close to accurate words to use, could you briefly describe to us the beauty and the richness that is the ambahan?
Oh, wow. Well, what's beautiful about it? Well, first for me, it's because they were written by indigenous people, and most lowlanders, I'll call them, or most urban people look down on indigenous people as being uneducated and their culture being so simple. But the ambahan, when you read the ambahan, you will see the depth of their soul and the way they can express themselves. It's just, you know, that's what's beautiful about it.
It kind of blows us away with regard to its beauty, the thinking, the philosophy, the culture it represents, the simplicity, and the lyrical nature of the language as it is translated into Tagalog and English and Spanish. That's why I selected it. I found in its simplicity, and it was just that beautiful simplicity of how parents pass values and experience to children that to me is universal.
You speak of simplicity that is in the poem, that is in the theme. What simple things can we do to help the Mangyan people preserve this literature, this form of art that speak their culture?
Well, a big first step is the book that is being highlighted here tonight at the Philippine Embassy and by the U.S. Philippine Society. The book is magnificent. It has won this prestigious book award in the Philippines. If I understood it correctly, it's the Magsaysay Award for that particular genre of book. That is a really important first step. We have to go from there.
Well, definitely the embassy here in Washington, we support this kind of projects, and of course we work very closely with the U.S. Philippine Society. And so when they bring up something like this to our attention, and we have something like this, it's a book launch by Mrs. Fansler, immediately, at least when it reaches my desk, we immediately support it, and if we can do something like this, like what happened today, we will do so in many ways. And of course, if there are exhibits, we have a lot of exhibits that we have with our cultural attaché, and she's been doing quite a bit of this. And so our embassy here in Washington, D.C. will do everything to support any kind of cultural activity to promote our culture in the Philippines. Yes, well, of course, there are many other indigenous peoples in the Philippines, but the Mangyans have always been, and I think one of the most fascinating ones, if I may say so. And there's still 8 tribes that are living in Mindoro now, and certainly we can learn a lot from their culture. And I myself was very impressed with the kind of script that they had, you know, writing it in bamboos and all of that. It's very fascinating to see that. And so I think it's something like this is what is very interesting, and I can see that we have had a very big crowd here today, which it only shows that there is a very strong interest in the Mangyan people in the Philippines.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. The award-winning book Bamboo Whispers gives us a glimpse of the simplicity of Mangyan life, the big and small struggles they face daily, and their fight for survival as a people. From the Philippine Embassy here in Washington, D.C., I am Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot for Eagle News, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Eliza.
Thank you, Eliza. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Tumblr. Also, check out our boards on Pinterest and pictures on Instagram. I'm Sam Cepeda. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Alma Angeles, and
we're 1 with 25.